What's up, everybody? This week we're gonna have you guys follow along so you can kind of see a little bit of the life of a dog trainer here at Canine Revolution Dog Training, a little bit about what we do on a day-to-day basis. We're here at headquarters today. We're gonna show you guys some training sessions. We got a couple of dogs that we're gonna be working through our training progression that are in our board and train programs. Show you some update videos that we send out to our owners, how we support our owners for the life of that dog in all of our programs. And then a little bit later in the week, we're gonna do like an outing, some community relations. We go out into the community, meet with people, but also get some good socialization and distraction work for the dog. So looking forward to having you guys along. All right, so we got Klaus here. He's a new intake for one of our board and trains. Pretty insecure dog. We'll see, so this is literally his first time here at the property. Come on, buddy. Come on. See if we can close the door over here. All right, so immediately what I'm doing when I'm intaking a dog, I'm looking at their body language, right? Just like with anything, we've talked about this in many of our videos, but look how his head is down, ears are back, tail is almost tucked. It's pointing down. He's even shaking a little bit, like he's kind of, you know, visibly shaking. So he's pretty nervous, right? And so like we were called to train this guy because he's got some reactivity and stuff. Strangers come in the house, or there's noises or dogs or whatever outside the house. He's barking excessively, which he did. Like he reacted at me as soon as I came in to pick him up. His hackles, right? So, and right now there's some dogs walking by. His hackles are starting to go up on the back just a little bit here, right? Right here too as well, right? So you can see the hackles all the way down his back are coming up, right? So this is just arousal, like something is causing him to be aroused. But that was the case when I went to pick him up. He was off the leash, right? He was barking and lunging at me, but he was kind of muzzle punching me. He wasn't trying to bite me or make contact or anything like that. I could immediately see with his body language, his behavior was rooted in insecurity, right? Or this discomfort. Come on, Klaus. Come on, buddy. So right here, he doesn't want to come over, like he doesn't know me or anything like that. He doesn't want to come where I'm going. Come on, buddy. Come on. And so another thing to talk about with a dog like this is a potential flight risk type dog, right? So a lot of people ask why we use the equipment that we use. I have a very thick leather leash, right? Unlikely, not impossible for a dog to chew through, but very unlikely. But I also have a fur saver type chain collar, right? That if I put tension, it will tighten, right? And so a lot of times if you have a dog like this, you do an intake on like a flat collar or something like that. Come on, buddy. I'm gonna just kind of see where he wants to go, back to the car. But a flat collar, a dog can slip that, right? And slip right out, and a dog like this in this type of environment is gonna take off, right? And so that's a potential safety issue. So that's why we use the equipment that we use, especially for a dog like this. Come on, buddy. Dog like this, you wanna be very patient with, right? And let him warm up to you, right? You let him get used to you, right? You can use food. Let's see how we'll offer him some food. He took food from me at the house. So right here, I've got some dehydrated hot dogs right here. He's not even phased. Here you go, buddy. Right, doesn't care. He's turning away from the hot dogs, right? Still rigid positioning. Tail is pretty much tucked, right? Still shaking a little bit. Ears are pinned back, right? Head is down. This is all fearful and insecure behavior, right? Come on. Come on. Name of the game here is take your time, get him comfortable, get him acclimated. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Before we really even get into training, right? So this is also why our programs are the way they are, right? He's in a 4-week program. A lot of trainers don't even offer 4-week programs. They're gonna do something like a 2-week program. It's gonna take this guy, Klaus, a couple of days probably to get acclimated. In that time, I'm not concerned with my timeline or my progression of training. I'm not here trying to force him to do things. I just want him as comfortable as possible. Once he starts doing things like taking food from me, voluntarily walking with me, right? Doesn't have to be in a perfect heel position, but less of that resisting, like trying to get away from me. That means our bond is strengthening and he's starting to trust me more, right? Now I can get into some training stuff. And so with dogs like this, that just takes time. If I start to force him to do things using a lot of pressure and stuff like that, that's going to be more stressful for him. It's going to potentially shut him down, give him some bad experiences, right? Which he's already dealing with some trauma and stuff from his past experience and whatnot. So we want to kind of take a nurturing approach here in the beginning phases, and then once he starts to get comfortable and warmed up, then we'll worry about the training, right? So that's where a longer timeline is going to be more beneficial for a dog like Klaus here. So that's pretty much a standard intake, right? So we're just quickly assessing him. We know that the root cause of everything that we're dealing with here is insecurity. Name of the game is going to be build his confidence, reduce that insecurity over time. So we'll probably check back with him, you know, in a day or so. All right, it is Monday morning here at Canine Revolution Dog Training. So part of what we do on Monday mornings is owner update videos. This is a very important part of our training progression with the dogs that are staying with us in the board and train, right? This is number one, our owners get to see their dogs, right? So they get to see them. They've been missing them. They've been staying with us. Some of the dogs are here, you know, as long as 4 weeks, right? So this allows the owners to check in on their dogs, see that they're doing great. But the big thing is also we start to teach the owners. This is where that lifetime support kind of starts to kick in, right? So we're going to start to teach the owners depending on what level of progression that the dogs are in, right? So Erin just had Nico, this Rottweiler, over here on a spot, right? So she may be doing an update on teaching the owners how to implement the spot or place command, right, in the home, right? We might be showing them engagement. We might go on a short little walk and do a video of that and show the owners, hey, this is how you hold your dog to the expectations of the heel position. This is how you implement a proper correction, either with the leash or the remote collar, right? This is how you deliver a reward, reinforce behaviors, all that kind of stuff. We walk them through the whole progression of how to maintain their dog when they come back. So we do these twice a week. So Mondays and Thursdays, we are doing these owner update videos. This is like first thing that we do on Mondays and Thursdays. This is the priority, and then we kind of get into our training day. All right, so working Apollo here. As far as his progression, he's learned all of his obedience, minus like the stay, which that's kind of what we're working on here. He does understand accountability. He is not remote collar conditioned yet, so that's going to be in the works here good in the next couple of days. Part of our process, so you can see he's wearing the remote collar. He's not experienced any kind of stimulation on the collar. Part of that conditioning process for us is him just wearing that for, you know, 24 to 48 hours. Apollo, down. Good, but he's at the point in his progression where he knows the expectation, so I can correct him for behaviors. Like I said, we're working on our duration here. Follow, stay, right? And so being able to move away from him, no? Good, right? And that's something he struggles with. So all I'm doing is like trying to take it very slow. Instead of expecting him to stay and me move all the way away from him, I'm just simply getting him used to my left leg moving back. Good. Mark and reward, I'll bring my left leg back into the picture, right? I don't care, yes, he moved a little bit, right? We'll hone in all that stuff later. Right now, I'm just working on this stay behavior here. So again, I'm gonna move my left leg away. Good. Right, and some dogs can't handle you moving away from them, right? That's a challenge for those dogs, right? But I'm giving him a couple of repetitions. This is just the entry level of me stepping away from him, is literally moving my leg back, right? Good. Nope. Good. Right, so I want to make sure I'm using my communication appropriately, right? So I say good when he's doing the right thing. I say no and correct when he does the wrong thing. No? Good. All right. Nope. Good. And so it's pretty much that simple. If I step away and he gets up, I say no and I correct him. If I step away and he stays, we're going to say good and reward. This is a classic training session here. This is what it would look like, right? We spend a couple of minutes doing something like this. He'll go back up. I go to my next dog. He'll constantly work through that rotation. Apollo, come. Good. And as you do this daily, you'll see what are the little behaviors that we need, to continue to work on and sharpen up. Apollo, heel. Good. All right, that's Apollo. We'll see what we got next. No. Good. All right, Callisto here is slightly behind Apollo in our progression. So with her, we're working on fading our help, right? So in everything we do with the training, good. We provide help, right, in the form of luring, right? For example, teaching her this down, right? I might lure her down just like this. This is what we call help, right? And eventually you have to fade that help, right? Callisto heel. So like our right turns, right? I can help her like this. So I use a piece of food here. I get her going for the food, she can't get it. I do a sharp turn, good, I mark and reward, right? I'm teaching her what to do in that turn, right? Same thing for that left turn, good, right? So she's at that phase where we're starting to fade that help away. So I'm gonna do a lot of the same body movements, good, without accessing the food to lure her, right? So she's had a number of repetitions of doing just that. Nope. She does also understand accountability in these behaviors. Good. She just is still in that fading to help phase. Good. So it's more so that we're moving into the world where now that reward comes after doing that behavior because we've already shown her how to do that behavior. Good. Right, now I'll move my body the same way I would as if I had a food reward, right? I just don't have that food reward. That's also going to help her. Good, nope, good. She's also, you know, day one wearing this remote collar. Callisto down. Good. Right, so like I said, that's part of the process of conditioning her. We're not using the remote collar, she's wearing it for a couple of days. So by the time she's at the point that Apollo is, she'll be ready for the conditioning. Good. Callisto, heel. Got some distractions coming in live. This is our pest control here at Canine Revolution Dog Training. They eat all the bugs that we don't want, but good distractor for the dogs as well, right? You can tell she's interested, no? Good. Again, there's certain behaviors like this auto sit that's very strong with her, right? Because of the repetitions that we've done. So despite the distraction, I feel comfortable still holding her accountable to that automatic sit. You saw she was hyper-focused staring at the birds. I came to a stop. She's now not really focused on me. She's focused on the birds. So I'm gonna still correct the behavior. Notice she goes right into that sit and I'll mark and reward, right? This is entry-level stuff of what we're talking about, going out into the community and providing her with distractions to tolerate, right? So right here, she's focused, right? Doesn't matter that she's looking at the birds or anything like that. If she were to go after them, she's gonna get a correction, right? But she's still expected to pay attention to me amidst doing the obedience here. Callisto, down. Good. Callisto, stay. Good. So same principle here. I'm just having her stay as I move one step away from her. Good. Notice her body positioning, very rigid. She's got a tail wag going on, right? So she's just aroused by the distractors. Good. Callisto, come. Good. All right, so not a great recall. She kind of gets a little bit confused, spins around a little bit. Could be that the distractors, she can't think clearly. I just moved back a little bit to kind of reposition her body so she's facing me. This is still a version of help, right? I could, let's say it was worse than that and she couldn't focus. I could go right back to grabbing this piece of food. Good, helping her through that, right? My goal with her right now is to fade, good, is to fade that help, but that doesn't mean that it's gone, right? You're fading it. It can come right back into play if you see that she's struggling through a behavior, or especially in this scenario where like we haven't worked through obedience in that exact scenario where, you know, 20 guineas show up, right? So that was kind of a new scenario for her, but we work her through it. So I'm not unwilling to bring that help back into the picture if she needs it. Good. Callisto, down. Down. Good. All right, so good example there too. Like, so with Apollo, I was trying to maintain a nice upright posture, give him that down command. That's the end goal. No? Good. Right, notice I gave her that down. She didn't really immediately go down. I just bent down just a little bit, right? So ideally, that's not gonna be the finished product. That's just a semblance of help, right? I was doing that a lot with my food, right? When I'm luring her, I'm naturally bending down. Good, right? And then my next step, right? I might do it without the food, right? And then I bring the food into the equation, right? And then she might just need a little bit of that body language help. She's like, oh, I've seen this picture. I know exactly what to do here, right? And eventually I'm just gonna fade more and more of that as we go. So she's doing good. She's like right behind Apollo. She's almost there where she's got a full understanding of everything, and then we're gonna move into proofing stuff and remote collar conditioning and everything like that. So we'll go ahead and put her back up for after her session and see what we got next. All right, so we got Bruce here. He's a puppy, Dobie puppy. So he's been food motivated from day one. So we were able to do all of the luring and everything like that and teach him these expectations, right? But the thing he wasn't into, he's a little insecure. He wasn't, into the engagement, right? So like this kind of stuff, chasing the food, which is super, super powerful, right? So I was able to do a normal progression with him, but now I want to build up his focus on me. So something I've been working, I'm still doing all the same things that you're seeing with Apollo and Callisto. Bruce, yes, but now I'm also going back. This is ideally what we're doing with dogs day one, day two, like first couple of days, he just wasn't into it, right? Yes, which is also fine. But the premise is, okay, he looks at me, I just move around, he chases a piece of food, right? So I want him to pay attention to me despite what's going on in our environment, right? So even here, he's like kind of looking at my hand. I want him to look up at me. Bruce, yes. The second his eyes meet my eyes, he gets rewarded, right? And this can be very powerful, especially if you think like, if you look back at Callisto's session where she was super, focused on those guineas, right? Over time, and I'm doing these sessions with her as well, over time, I can become more powerful than those guineas, right? She's gonna learn, not really gonna get anything from the birds, you know what I'm saying? But right here, he just checks out, goes to a rock, right? You just don't get anything, right? Exact same premise there. Like, he's like, actually this is more interesting now. I wanna go check this rock out. All right, number one, I'm not gonna allow him to get that rock, right? I'm not gonna allow him to get the chickens or the guineas or anything like that. So that's gonna lose its value over time, right? So all this is just a focus game. Yes, I move, I'm inciting his prey drive. All right, so he's coming at this is where the food comes from, right? So he's very food focused, which is not a bad thing. You can get a lot done that way, but we want him more handler focused than food focused. We'll show you one more, Klaus, who we intook yesterday. We'll kind of check in on him, see how he's doing. All right, so we got Klaus. This is the dog that we saw yesterday. So he's been here at this point, basically a full 24 hours. So we're gonna go ahead and go on a short little walk here with him. So the walk is extremely important, right? And you know, it's not gonna be the end all be all, right? Because every dog is different. Like he's overall pretty, like I'm not holding him to anything or anything like that, and he's overall pretty decent. Yeah, he's putting tension on the leash, right? But he's not dragging me or anything like that. He's up ahead of me, he's sniffing the ground. That's fine, I don't care about the rules, right? But let's say dog reactivity is my issue that I'm trying to resolve. And I'm like, all right, well, I need to go walk this dog, but we're passing like 80 dogs in the neighborhood, and he's reinforcing on that behavior. The walk might not be the best option there, right? We're out in the woods, we're out in a rural area, so this is a good opportunity to bond with a dog. So I just go and walk with him, that's it, right? So I'm just, like my big thing is I just don't want a dog to be dragging me. Like he's putting some tension here, and the nature of the collar that we're using, right? The tools that we use do matter. It's not going to allow him to really drag me. Some dogs will, right? Some dogs don't care about that kind of stuff. And so I might be doing shorter distance walks with Klaus. I want to kind of take a good, nice little trail walk, right? Spend a couple of minutes just going on a walk, and I'm doing this multiple times a day. So I might do something like this, get out of where there's other distractors, other trainers are working over there, come out here, walk in the woods where it's just me and him, right? This can get him more used to us, right? Or maybe more, he's more wanting to be with us, right? Klaus, what you think? Hey, buddy. Right, so sometimes I'll even do, like I'll call his name or whatever, see if he's gonna look at me. Nope, doesn't really care for me right now, which is fine. You also gotta be, like, some people take this personally, you know what I mean? Why doesn't this dog like me? It's like, I mean, we just met, you know what I mean? Not only we just meet, you know, I came and I picked him up from his home and brought him to a strange environment, you know what I mean? And so that's stressful just by itself. Think about scenarios you've been in where maybe you've traveled or something like that. You're sleeping in a hotel. It's not quite like sleeping at home. There's a little bit, little layers of stress. Maybe you don't sleep quite as comfortably in that hotel as you do at home, you know what I'm saying? We're removing ourselves from our environments. We're pack animals just like they are. You know, where you're away from your family, out of your home, you know, that's a stressful thing. So when you're doing something like this, you know, an intensive board and train type program, a good trainer is going to factor that in and allow that dog some time to decompress, to kind of cope, to learn like, hey, this isn't nothing crazy, and we're not gonna be forcing you to do nothing or anything like that. Yeah, there's gonna come a point in time where you're gonna have to follow some rules, learn some rules, different things like that. But we're not rushing that, right? You gotta have a timeline, gotta be able to have a timeline that's gonna be conducive to a dog like this, right? Again, we harp on it all the time. A lot of trainers want that quick turnaround on a board and train program, like 2 weeks or something like that. I might very well with Klaus here be doing what you're seeing me do here today for probably 4 or 5 days. You know, that's almost that first full week, but it will pay dividends once he does start taking food, or once he does start trusting me a little bit. And it's not like in 5 days, this insecurity is not gonna just go away. In 4 weeks, it's not gonna just go away, right? A lot of times these dogs are dealing with genetic insecurity or genetic anxiety, right? Stuff it's going to be around for a while, and it's going to take some strategic measures to really address it in the long run. So the name of the game here is just reduce it as much as possible so that we can get some work done, right? And then set the owner up for long-term success in really addressing everything he's got going on. You know, and Klaus is a dog, he's prescribed some medications, some anti-anxiety medications. Our goal is to get him off of that 100%, you know, and we've done that many times. Most dogs that come to us on anxiety medications leave within that 4-week program completely off of the medications, right? Because the training, the structure, everything like that, that's really what's going to address the deeper issues. We'll kind of take a break right here. So he kind of looked back at me. He's like, hey, what are we stopping? So that's good. Like that's just a microscopic step in the right direction. He's kind of checking in with me. Like, oh, hey, something just changed. What's up? He's looking to me, right? It's not everything. That's not gonna, you know, it doesn't mean we're ready to work or that he trusts me or anything like that. But there's like a little microscopic thing. Those are the things I'm looking at to start to improve. So he kind of checks me out. He's sniffing. See that? Like he started sniffing the hot dog. Like it could be that we're getting into the point where he's like, I'm considering it, you know? But we do this multiple times a day, right? So a lot of people also will say, well, like manipulating hunger drive, well, that's kind of messed up. Like you're not giving him food. Like, no, you're giving him every opportunity multiple times a day, every single day to eat. We're just doing it on terms that's like he's gonna eat out of our hands, right? And that's a very okay thing to do, right? What'd you think, buddy? All right, come on. We'll just continue on the walk, right? So that's all we're doing with him. 4 or 5 days, you know, we're on day 1 with him, but probably in the next 3 to 5 days, this is what his sessions look like. You saw those sessions with their other dogs. We kind of, in the morning time, we're training, we're on a rotation. I might spend, you know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes doing a training session each dog, and then put them back in the kennel, go to the next dog, and just continue that rotation throughout the morning. So his 10 to 15 minute training session is gonna be what you just saw, us hanging out. I might come and sit in a chair while I'm doing emails and things like that. Just have him hanging out with me, you know what I mean? Might be a time where I bring him over to my house, get him into a home environment, just hang out with him. See, you know, once you start to see him start to voluntarily approach you, so he's showing some interest in the dogs here. That's when you're ready to really start to work, if that makes sense. So, but that's Klaus. I mean, he's definitely coming along. So we're seeing little improvements in 24 hours. So nothing I'm worried about or concerned. From here, like I said, that's what our morning looks like. From here, trainers kind of like around noon, trainers kind of go and do their thing. Like, just depends on what they've got going on. Sometimes they're sticking around on the property to continue their training sessions, working through their progressions. They might be taking dogs off the property, like you're gonna see a little bit later in the week, just to get that dog out and do some distraction. They might be doing consultations. So this afternoon, I'll be going to a consultation. Somebody that's interested in dog training, but they kind of want to have a face-to-face. They want us to see their dog, evaluate their dog, right? And see if we're going to be a good fit to work with them. You might be doing follow-ups with clients that have already graduated, right? We might have alumni that have graduated from the program, and we give them lifetime support, right? So we're going to go out, meet with them, work through whatever thing we're trying to work through. But yeah, we might have I think we got a dog going home today. I think maybe Kevin is bringing a dog home to do a return session. So he'll be spending a couple hours with that owner, just teaching them how to transition things from training back into the home. But yeah, and then we'll have an evening shift that comes in and keeps doing this around the clock. Our training assistants working the dogs day in, day out. We'll be in operation till 9:30 tonight. So that's a day. All right, we're out here in one of our local communities in Somerville. We're going to the downtown area. So this is something that we do every now and then. Distraction work, socialization, good for the dogs. So all these dogs here are in our board and train program. We're gonna hit a local restaurant, just practice our downstays, right? Hang out for a little bit, and then we're gonna come out to this event called Third Thursday. So we'll go check it out. Here we go, local favorite right here. Margaritas. All right, just wrapped up dinner, warm up complete. We are now heading to the downtown area to work through Third Thursday distraction. All right, so we look at Lulu. She's getting a little bit excited over here, right? So ears are coming up, now they're back. Tail positioning lower. It was a little bit higher here once we started the video. Right, so there it goes, a little tail wagging. That's just arousal, stuff like that. So I'm gonna be constantly looking at her body language throughout this whole thing, but let's go check it out. Get hit here. Oh. The dangers of dog training. All right, so here we are at the event downtown. So always want to be cognizant with the type of dog you've got that you're walking. We got kids here, we've got other dogs here. You're going to be in close proximity to these things, right? So the name of the game here is distraction work, just holding her to the expectations, right? So if she does the right thing, we can randomly reward. If she does the wrong thing, we're gonna, nope, good, we're gonna correct, right? So she got a little bit uncomfortable as we passed by these people. Tail position got lower. She's trying to move away from the kids here. Come on. And there does come a balance as to, like, a dog can't have too much stress to go into an environment, right? Right here, we're gonna try to work her through it. Nope. Lulu, good. Good. Nope. Good. Right, so she's definitely stressed with everything going on. And it's like we're walking down a sidewalk, not much going on, all of a sudden, bam, we're met with this, right? So just because a dog's experiencing stress doesn't mean you're gonna immediately back out. We wanna see, can we work them through the stress? Good. Come on. Nope, come on. Right, so got a little bit weird there. Look at the hackles coming up right here. Right, so she's getting kind of weird being in close proximity, but I'm still also guiding her through this. Right, so having her like, hey, nope, stay in heel position. Nope. Good. We're gonna see if we can find an area to duck out in over here. Come on, Lulu. Oops, sorry. Nope. Lulu, sit. Good. Lulu, down. Good. Rigid body positioning right here. She's even shaking just a little bit, right? So she's uncomfortable. She's a little bit anxious. And I mean, look around, like, This is enough to make me a little bit anxious, right? Being around a bunch of people are surrounding you, that kind of stuff, versus taking just a fresh dog that knows nothing, that could be stressed here. Then a difference between that and taking a dog that knows some expectations. Now she's got some tools to help work us through some anxiety by holding her to some expectations. Yes, there does come a point in time where a dog can be so overwhelmed that it's not going to be productive, right? But we're going to see if she can start to kind of calm down and get into a more confident state of mind. All right, we're checking back in. We're still here at the third Thursday, checking back in with Lulu here, looking at her body language. She's kicked her hips over to the side. She's also giving me much better focus, right? Versus when we first arrived, she was very rigid. She was kind of like head down, looking around, very anxious, very nervous, right? Which she still is. She still is insecure, right? But she's now in a better state of mind, a little bit more relaxed, right? So we can do different things. Now I can start to do some engagement with her, right? If you guys remember Bruce's session where we were doing eye contact, yes, I move, she chases the food, right? You see the little arousal with the tail wag, yes. So this is important, yes, right? Because now we've got a lot of stuff going on around us, yes, but I'm fostering her paying attention to me, right? Yes, this is the socialization side of things, right? So true socialization is giving her a positive experience in close proximity to whatever we're socializing. We got dogs out here, we got people, we got loud noises, all that kind of stuff. Lulu, yes, if I can teach her to focus on me, despite what's going on, that's what's going to give her the positive experience, especially if she's uncomfortable with everything. Lulu, sit, good. Lulu, down, good. Notice, rigid, and she kicks her hips over almost immediately, good. Right, so she's relaxing, right? So that's good. So let's walk. We're going to walk real quick to a quick short stretch. We're going to go back into a little bit of stress because we're going to be in close proximity, and then we'll find another area to kind of go into a downstay, and then we'll gauge it. Lulu, heel. All right, the distraction side of things is holding her to those expectations, right? So this is how you can proof your obedience. Good, right? So good focus here on me. Notice tail positioning still down, ears are back, right? So still insecure. Good. All right, so we walk through the crowd, right? We've got a lot of people around us in close proximity. I see an opening over here where I can kind of dip out. I'll come back off to the side here and out of the stress, right? So we're gonna come back over here. No? So right here we expect an automatic sit or an automatic down, all right? Lulu, down. Good, hips still kicked over, right? Good, so that's a good sign. Even though we just went through some stress and she was showing signs of stress, once we get out of the stress, put her back in the down, her hips still kick over, right? So again, this is a good point. Like sometimes you show up and your dog's stressed and you're like, oh my gosh, maybe I don't need to do this. Maybe I don't need to be here. The point is, can we work them through the stress? And the more we do things like this, the more confident they're gonna get when you're in a stressful type of situation. So that's why these types of sessions are very important. On average, we recommend that our clients come out, once every 2 weeks or so to do something like this once your dog has a good basic understanding of the expectations. But this is a big part of what we do, as well as the community relations, supporting all of our local businesses and stuff like that. But Lulu's doing good, she's killing it. All right, guys, so that's a standard week here at Canine Revolution Dog Training. Give you guys a little bit of glimpse of what we do behind the scenes, right? So thank you guys for tuning in. Please continue to subscribe, check out our stuff. If there's any specific things you want to see or some more stuff like this that you want to see with what we're doing behind the scenes, that kind of stuff, please drop a comment, let us know. We'll make it happen.